Hello everyone, how are you doing today? Hope you're good, and I'm happy to have you guys here today. Thank you for coming, thank you for joining, and I'm super happy to be your host here today. Hi everyone, how are you doing today? Hope you're good. Hi everyone, how are you doing? So today we are having an amazing guest this afternoon. And this guest is no other person but a good friend of mine. And this person is coming with a lot of things. So it would be nice if you stay to the end because there's going to be some amazing freebies. I would say there's going to be like some giveaways as well. Just do well to stay till the end, right? So if you have questions, you can also drop. So I have this friend I would like to introduce to you guys. Before I talk about him, I would like to meet you guys. How are you doing? And hope you are good. Sorry, this particular session is not for interviews for everybody. I'm having a one-on-one with someone, and when he joins, we'll be able to have him on board because we have limited time we are spending, and we have like 10 questions. Hopefully, we'll be able to answer a good number of those questions before the end of the session. How has been our year? Well, for me, it's been an amazing year so far. I think one important thing I really enjoyed this year is the training I had in let's say the third week of January. That was last week. It was really intensive. Around this time last week I was in class, and I was taking in you know different insights from key leaders across the world, and it was really nice being under close tutelage and also being trained. And I know that's one thing I actually preach about, right? Getting yourself informed, getting yourself empowered, equipping your life, because you need to get yourself equipped so you can also equip others. You can't give to ensure that you offer value. So, being somebody who believes in value, I brought you someone who is a Nigerian Ghanaian international coach, speaker, author, father, husband, brother, leader, pastor. He has all in one and one in all. So depending on the aspect you need him, you really love what is going to be given to you tonight. Today, yeah. Sorry, I host a lot of night programs, so that's why I said tonight. With a virtual round of applause, let us welcome a leader. We can't see your face though.
You can't see my face. Okay, hold on.
We can't see your face here. If you are just
Okay.
joining, let us know. Um, Hi everyone. I think you have to adjust a bit to the back.
Okay.
Maybe some,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. You have to adjust a bit. So, guys, let us know if you can see him. So, while he's trying to join, please drop your name and where you're joining us from. Are you joining from Lagos, New York, Texas, Indiana, Manchester, Paris? Wherever you're joining us from, let us know. This is a global event, right? We have people joining us from all over the world, Australia, you know, different countries, Yeah, so we are happy to host you guys, and thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate your time, and we really appreciate your presence equally. Are you done? Are you ready now?
Yes, I'm just trying to adjust my.
Okay,
Okay, I think.
are you set?
Yes.
All right. So Welcome. Thank you for accepting the invitation, and I'm super happy to have you here today. Thank you
Thank you
for
very
creating
much.
time out of your busy schedule and for, making yourself accessible. It's really a lot sometimes, having to clear your schedule and ensure you are here. So, a quick one. My name is James Coppola. I'm a Gen Z coach, and can we meet you?
Yeah, James Pokola, the Gen Z coach. A pleasure to be here this afternoon with you. And I'll say that you are doing amazingly great. Um,
Thank you.
yeah, you're doing
Thank you.
amazingly great, and I'm always inspired every time I get to watch you, I get to hear you speak, I get to see one of your book launching, and it's really inspiring. It's really inspiring. So for me, I am Joakim, a Ghanaian born in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria.
Wow.
However, yes.
Which state are you
However,
from?
I'm from Ghana, but I was born here in Lagos,
Which
Nigeria.
state are you from?
Which state?
Is
I'm
it
in Lagos.
Atlanta?
Okay.
Oh, good,
Yeah.
good.
So, I'm an author, a speaker, and I'm passionate about
Can you tell
helping
us
people
author of how
discover.
many books? Author of how many
Yeah, author
books?
of two books, Working in Maturity and Unleash. Unleash is my second book, and then I have two books that should be
Leader.
out this year. Yeah, The Leadership That Works, and yeah, and Success Capsule. So hopefully,
Four
um,
books. Come on,
for,
please. A round of applause. That's amazing. I know what it takes to write a book. This
yeah,
is my fourth book, and there was kind of like space between my first, second, third, and the fourth.
yeah,
But this year, I think I'm going to be having more books out there. I'm going to be having more projects out there. Sitting down to
yeah,
write is easy. I know people say, oh, there's AI and all of that. Fine, there is artificial intelligence, but then you also need the authority intelligence because you can't
yes,
copy and paste and expect
mm,
people to value you because there
that's
is
right.
no form of credibility or authority in it. So that's
Yeah,
really when I really appreciate your effort and having to burn the midnight oil, ensuring that you give the best to the world. And from the works I've seen so far, I've seen the amazing effort you put into that.
thank
So
you,
I really
thank
commend
you,
you for that and I give you kudos and I
thank you,
celebrate you. Thank you so much. So I want to
thank
ask
you.
you a question. Having a let me say a bilateral or a bi-African descent, being a Nigerian
Yeah,
Ghanaian, how does it
yes.
feel? How have you been able to cope within these two countries? I've been to Ghana several times, I think maybe three, four times. I think Ghana is the next country that I love to always be after Nigeria. So
Ghana is
I
an amazing
I
country.
love Ghana. I love Ghana. I've been to quite a number of places in Ghana as well. So how has been your journey between these two countries?
I'll say, I'll say that it's a beautiful thing. Let me say, being a citizen of two. No, I'm not. I'm not fully a citizen of Nigeria. Let me be. But then,
Of
having,
Nigeria.
having access to two countries just makes it beautiful because it gives you perspective, two-sided perspective about life. So when I'm in Ghana, I see a different part of life, even though it's an African country. When I'm here in Nigeria too, it's a different kind of life. And I'll say when it comes to having the two dual citizenship, it has helped in a way that when I move to Ghana, I can easily connect with the people there. When I'm here in Nigeria too, I can easily connect to the people there. So it's an advantage, I would say. It's an advantage, but it can also have its cons, and that's in the area of wanting to. For example, let me give this example. I schooled here in Lagos, Nigeria, and growing up, I used to like politics aside every other thing I do, but I was born here in Lagos, I schooled here and everything, and I no longer can pursue that dream for politics because I am really not a Nigerian, by nationality. And going back to Ghana to understanding the Ghana politics, and it will quite be difficult. So I just had to let that part of me, you know, just go that
Wow,
way. So yes,
that's
so that
interesting.
can be a disadvantage. Do you understand?
Wow. I'm just
Yeah,
saying that for the first time. But you haven't mentioned, so at the moment you hold the Ghanaian passport, right?
I hold the Ghanaian passport. Yes, I hold the Ghanaian passport.
Even though we both um say we have the African passports, the
Yeah,
ECOWAS, I will tell you that it's different from country to country.
that's
The
right.
access you have. I think you can go to South Africa without applying for visa. I
Without
think.
yes, yes,
Or
yes,
I have to
yes.
be on the queue. Just imagine that. You have to apply for Tanzania or you don't need to.
Well, Nigeria still remains the giant of Africa anyway, and I believe
Yeah,
that with time, with the kind of people, with the kind of leaders that are rising, I believe that with time, the status quo is changing. Things are changing. It might
yeah.
just take time, but then with time,
It will
things will
surely
change,
happen.
and
Surely happen.
I believe the
Yeah.
glory will be restored.
Yeah, I believe in that as well, but I'm just
Yeah,
letting you know that sometimes you need to look into what you already have because right now you are looking at your dream of politics being dashed. I'll just say stay encouraged, just keep doing what you're doing. You might just be being
yeah,
in a room and you're like, oh, who shall we send? I'm like, I'm here. And I'm like, so
yeah.
what's your background? You explain and there are things that changes and
You know,
nothing is permanent.
Yeah. During my time on campus, I was a student leader. I was the president of my department. When I served also in Ilorin, Kwara State, I was also a leader on camp. That's the NYSC camp and also CDS platoon. So it's always been something that would still find its expression, at the right time when there is a need for it, notwithstanding nationality or um, the expression will come out. And humans are not after um, who you are or what race you are from. If you can bring results, if you're a person of value, when value comes, racism is out of it. When value comes, nationality is
Yeah,
out of it.
exactly.
When value comes, gender is out of it.
No,
You
that's
know,
very, very true. I believe so much in that. And for me, in value driven relationship, it's not just a matter
yeah,
of just being there. It's what really matters is why you're there. What can they say about you? What do you bring to the table? I know they talk about this on the level of relationship, but I mean relationship with the opposite sex, and people are like, "What do you bring to the table? What do you bring to the table?" I am the table. I'm like, so in every
yeah,
relationship, there is always a table you need to contribute, and you'll be
yes,
valued to the level of the value you bring
of
to the table.
value. Yeah,
So
that's
if
right.
one is not valuable before coming to the table, it will be very difficult for that person to be able to have some sort of advantage over others. So I would like
Yeah,
to ask, who are the people that you can say that inspire you, that you look forward to, that you like to talk about? For me, I have quite
yeah,
a number of them. From afar,
that's
I have
right.
John C. Close by, I have Dr. Sam Adeyemi, Dr.
Yeah,
Toye Shobande. Funny how I mentioned these people in my book. And there are people that I look forward to meeting someday in my life and sharing stage with these big people, big men. But I know it's not yet time. At the appropriate time, things will work together. So, what are these people in your life that you
um,
submit, that you listen to, that you draw
yeah,
from?
yeah. Everybody should have at least one person that inspires you, you know. And I'll say that I draw my inspiration from quite a number of people. And I'll start from Dr. Miles Moreau of Lead Memories, and
Wow, a
he
great man.
was he has inspired my life so much. I think I was still in high school when I started listening to him, and it was from that time I began to, so in the area of purpose and doing what I'm doing now, my passion, my everyday life, my everyday activity, I caught it from following Dr. Miles. I caught it from following Dr. Miles, and there was something he said in one of his teachings that I'll paraphrase it now, that the life we are living today is everything we have, and we should make sure that we die empty. We give our best,
Hmm.
and that word held me for life. Die empty. So it means that there's so much in me that I must give. There's so much in me that I must give. So I've made up my mind to die empty. So Mars Mero is one of the persons I draw my inspiration from. And I'll come back to Africa, Nigeria. You mentioned his name already, Dr. Sam Adeyemi. He has inspired my life in no little way. So much, and I I started following him. I used to tell people this. I say that Dr. Sam Adeyemi is like in my future realm. Is in my future realm at the moment, because a lot of things he does today are the things that I look forward to do on a bigger scale. These are things that I'm already doing anyway. Oh, amazing,
You
amazing.
get a copy
Shift,
of Shift.
shift.
Shift
Wow.
up, transform your mindset and elevate your
Everybody should
thinking.
get that book.
This
Everybody
book,
should get that
it's
book.
it's really a gem. And I had to even
Yeah.
put book in between. I had to pen some places. You know, just
Yeah.
to let you know that this is really. I'll read something for you. Say when you define your values and you live by those values, you resist temptation to make quick dollar in a crooked way.
Hmm.
What that means is
Okay.
quite a number of people, just because they want to make a dollar, they go
Yes.
the crooked way. And I've been in one before in a project, and you realize that this person was not in for the long run, was just in for the fastest routes. And when you spot
Yes.
that, if you have that discernment, quickly call
Yeah.
the attention of who needs to know what is happening. So you
Yeah.
can be maybe on a safe side sometimes. So yeah,
Yes.
that's another one too. Yeah, we are waiting for more.
Yeah. Let me say
Likewise,
something let me say something on what you read now from that book. It's something I personally am looking forward, with the help of God, how to um, reach out to the younger generation. And when I mean the younger generation, I mean the ones coming after us now. We are a generation, and there's a generation coming after us, to explain to them how that it's important to create value before chasing after money. We see a lot of
absolutely,
people
I
today,
agree.
even you know, in our generation, all they are chasing right now is money, and that's why they end up chasing it the wrong way. All they are chasing right now is riding the biggest cars, having the biggest phones, and values have just been misplaced. There's a lot of misplaced priorities. There's a lot of lost values, and that's why we see it like this today in young people. Whereas the first thing that should be chased, that should be moved, is the hunger for value, the hunger for identifying who you are and what you can give, to your closest community. So that over time, I started that initiative already anyway. I started visiting a few secondary schools, even higher institutions, and then letting them understand that, see, what you need is to be a person of value. Forget about, it amazes me when I see a boy of 18 years old, and all he's after is, yes, I want to have the biggest, I want to drive the biggest car, I want to have 1 million naira, 5 million naira, 10 million naira in my account. And you engage him and there's no value, there's nothing. So I believe that the narrative should change. And Dr. Sam Adeyemi expressing that in the Shift book is a very, very good one. And we should actually be intentional taking it out to the right people. Yeah.
Wow, that's really amazing. Value is very, very
Yes.
important, and whoever does not exhibit value, the person doesn't have a value. Because if you don't
Yeah.
stand for something, you fall for everything. These are not just quotes, these are actually words that are real. I remember, I think
Reality is
this quote can also be attributed to Dr. Miles Monroe, about
oh
the purpose of a thing being known. He said, when the purpose of a thing is not known,
yeah.
abuse.
Abuse is inevitable.
So when we
Yes.
know our value, when we know what we are chasing, when we know what we are in the game for, we can then be able to know that though I'm not there yet, but I'm on the way going to that place.
But
Take for
yeah.
example, Dr. Sam wrote this book, and it
Shift.
would be very foolish of someone who is just starting out to want to dare this because somebody else has done it. Why not just start with just as little as this, just this, not even
Yeah.
full, 10 pages book, 15 pages book, before you come up
Yes.
with this. Before I started writing books and decided I want to be a published author, I was writing articles here and there and all of that. And those articles were also making impact. So you shouldn't just come out and all you want to do is I want to write a book as bulky as
A
this.
bestseller book.
I'm not trying to down down speak or whatever. But what I'm trying to tell you is it's better you grow up into this level. Dr. Olumide Emmanuel will say if you jump up, you will fall down. I mean, that fall down is
Yes.
you yakata. If you don't know what that means, it means you fall down flat. That
Yeah.
injury be catastrophic. So, but if you climb up, you will stay there. So that means you
Sustain.
have to choose to either jump up and fall down, or you climb up and stay up. All right. So, do you have
Yeah.
any other person you would like to talk about?
Let me mention this last person. He is also late anyway. I don't know if you've heard of him before, but one of the things about him is that is energetic whenever he's delivering his message. And this is no other person than Dr. Ubon King.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that man. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had the privilege to meet him twice in Abeokuta before. It was unfortunate, and I really do not know why good people go, good people die earlier. But that man changed. It changed something about my mindset. And there's one profound thing he said. He said that um, I think he was like the maybe ninth child out of about 10 children. And he said there was really nothing at home to eat. He left wherever he was from, I think the east, down to Lagos, and he was sleeping. I think he slept on the street one day. The next day, he slept in his shop, and he did everything in his capacity to climb to where he was. So one thing that stood out for him was that he didn't allow his environment, he didn't allow his background to limit him. And I'm saying this because we have a lot of people. Okay, I think I shared something today. And I was saying the same thing that we are we are too good with excuses. We are too good with focusing on our limitation. Whereas there's just one thing that we have in us that's an advantage. That thing is the advantage we have that will push us, to the next level. Whereas we are ignoring that and focusing on our limitations. And that's what a lot of people today in our world, in our country, specifically Nigeria, do a lot. So you hear people say that the economy is bad. You hear people say there are no jobs. You hear people say I'm from a poor background. You hear people say there is no light. A lot of things. People talk so much about limitations that we forget to look deep into ourselves. Okay, what is that one thing I have that can at least stand out. And I gave this example that there's this woman in the Bible who lost her husband and then she was in debt and she was crying all over. How would I pay this debt and everything? And and she was fortunate to meet a prophet. And the prophet said, "What do you have? What is that? You have complained, but what is that one thing you have?" And she said, "I don't think I have anything. What I have is just a jar of oil." And he said, that jar of oil is what you need, just that jar of oil. And from there, she was able to sort the debt, and that was it. So I believe that we should take our mind off excuses, off our limitations, and let's focus on just that one thing and that can be the beginning of the change we truly want in our world and in our lives majorly. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome and that's powerful. Guys, I want to invite you guys for an amazing event coming up this weekend. And this
Yeah.
is
That's it.
no other but Ashiri Comedy. This is a wonderful brother, a leader,
Yeah.
mentor, someone that we respect a lot. He's having an event coming up, and mind you, this event is power packed. And I don't know if you can also talk about this. The first time I met this man was, I think that was 2024. I was on my way back from the United States and we met at the airport. Actually, before then, we've
Okay.
had sometimes working together virtually, and people was like, "Oh, you're back! He's that." I'm like, we saw the way he sort of like showed like celebrating people.
Excitement.
And this is someone that has value. I think he's an author of 5 or 6 books now. And these are people who have done different things and they are coming to bring their experience so you can gain from. See, if you have someone who has written a book and you wish to be like that person in the next decade or half a decade or few years to come, the best thing you can
Yeah.
do if you can access the person is to buy their book. Because the secret of great people is in their books, is in
Books, their works.
putting share their works. So if you can access them, then you can access their books. Like I'm working towards getting some books this first quarter, and those who are actually Nigerian entrepreneurs that know they've done something, they've accomplished it. You want to read it. When I read Making It Big last year, it was mind blowing. I finished it within a week. So, and I'm still reading it again this year. This one as well, I'm reading it again before the Shift conference. So that is to tell you that there are people, there are places you need to be. And this is one of those places that you need to be this year. It's happening live on Saturday and it's 1st of February. You can go,
First of
you can
February.
come along with your babe, you can come along with the love of your life. I don't know what you guys call it, it's Valentine month, but can you just start differently this year? Take that significant order, and you guys should go to his um go to his bio at Ashiri Comedy
Yeah.
and register. I don't know if you want to talk about this. Share me about Mr. Ashiri. Talk to us about him because you seem to be very
Yeah.
close and you have like an intimate relationship with him. Can you just drop some gems? Let us get
Yeah.
it back.
Ashiri comedy is there's this thing they say. I don't know if you've seen it. Ashiri comedy is who he think he is. Trust me, he's that man. He's just that man. Is a aside being an author, aside being an entertainer, is someone who I can call a change maker, someone who drives change. When we talk about revolution can be in different sectors. So when it comes to change, Ashiri Comedy is someone who can be a revolutionist for change. Let me use that word. I've worked with him and I've been privileged to read his books. And I tell you every time it's always a time to go back into my shell and then you know prepare myself again, go back into my shell, prepare myself again, and then come out. Because every time I get any of his materials, I'm always inspired. I'm always motivated, and I was so something that happened. I think it was last year, early last year, or early last year. Yes, I was going to have a deal with a woman in Italy, and it was a deal on business development, and it was something I thought I could handle, but when I had the scope of the job, it was bigger than what I have been handling over time. And I went to him and said, "Sir," because he's a mentor and my mentor, I said, "Sir, this is what I'm facing, and how can I, and his response at that point just changed everything. And what was the response? The response was, I'll put it the way he said that word to me. I have taught you to bite more than you can chew, and then when you do that, come and ask for help. And that was everything for me. I tell you, that was everything for me. I went back to the woman, and then we discussed, and trust me, my fear now became something I could manage, I could handle. So Ashiri comedy is someone who you should
So you
be
had a
eager
push,
to meet.
right?
Yes, I had a push. I had the push. It was just like I needed that push, and I needed it from the right person. I needed it from the right person, and it now goes far in saying that um, that show you on the February 1st can be the change you need. You can get that word that you need for the next phase of your life. You can get that word you need to seal that contract and to do that thing you have been wanting to do. One other thing I have learned from him is a man of action. What do I mean by this? Whenever he says something, is seeing it already. He's not just saying it and then we are no. He says it and then we are seeing it. How is it going to work? We are working it. We are doing the work. So I believe that any young person who wants to do much more in the year 2026 should be in this gathering. And it's just a gathering of 500 persons, 500 people. So please and please, if you are within Lagos or even outside Lagos,
The
make it
500,
a,
I don't know about.
make it a date to be there. Make it a date to be there. I promise you. And don't just come. Come with an open mind. Come with a mind to learn. And I'm very sure that his books would also be available. So when you come, make sure you also get books. Make sure you also get books.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much for that. Like I told you guys earlier, this year, if you must take what belongs to Caesar, you must
Take
have
it by
built
force.
capacity to be able to do
Yes.
that. However, I'm not advising you to take what belongs to Caesar. I think there's a better that I just heard. Say you should bite more than you can chew. So if you can,
Yes.
let's say, let's say normally if you can take a burger, let's say just a bite, and then you go on what Guinness record, you see people biting the entire. Oh my God! I mean, people take him all at once.
Hmm.
That you
Yeah.
are just trying to like take the burger bit by bit, and so biting more than you can chew can be as
Then-
let me just. But this is in a different dimension.
yes.
It is you trying to push forward to something you know you don't have the capacity, but you're on the right track.
Yeah.
For example,
Yes.
my first book wouldn't have happened if I had not had a meeting with someone. It was somebody that I always look forward to, you know, being under his tutelage and learning from him. The access was not easy, however, I was able to make my way through. If you want it, you will find a way. If you want
Yeah.
it, you'll find a way. Yes, you can watch the session later or make it available for maybe 48 hours. So if you know that this is important, you will find a way. If it is not
Yes.
important, you will find excuses. See how different it is. Find a way. Find excuses. That means
Excuses, yes, they are
the road
typical.
to failure is multiple options, but the road to success is just one: determination.
Yeah.
So if you're already determined that this is something, and then somebody brings you on and you're like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to do this. You reach out to someone who has done it and believes in you, and you push through, you know, and the result comes out. It will be to your credit first, because those people you are
Yes.
working with will not know. And then secondly, it will be to the credit of the person who also push you. That's what we do as coach. I can
Yeah.
only coach you, but I cannot tell you what to do. Because in this world, no matter how you tell people what to do, they will still do what they want to
What?
do.
Oh, that's right.
So if I tell you, these are 5 ways I feel you could elevate your brand, your personal brand, you could also help to do more with less. And I just maybe come online and I see you doing something different. That means you already have something in mind. You just need someone to validate. And I think that nonsense
Yeah.
will usually stop. You already know what you want to do. Why are you wasting somebody else's time? Well, if you pay
Yeah.
for the coaching, that does not even equate you wasting somebody else's time, because time is very important. And it's one of the important things I actually talked about in my book. I talked about um, the reliable container, and I talked about the greatest asset. You can see the greatest asset. And this could say time is a created thing. To say I don't have time is to say I don't want to. So if you don't want to do
Mhm.
something, just say I don't have time. Because if you really want to do it, you will find out the time. And
Great
so
man.
I'm
Yes.
trying to tell you that time is equal everywhere in the world. No matter where you find yourself, in Australia, in Europe, in Africa, in North America, in South America, in Asia, anywhere you are, everybody has 24 hours. Once the 24 hours elapse, you will have to go again another 24 hours, another 24 hours, 7 days a week, 30 or 31 days a month,
Maybe a
depending on the
month.
month, 28 days
Yes.
for faith, and then you have 365 days a year. So all of this, it starts with your time. How do you manage your time? This year, 2026, how do you want to manage your time effectively? Because if you are not seeing results, you need to sit down with a jotter and go through how you manage your time. Because on the traffic light, there are only three signs you need to obey. I mean, you need the red, you need the yellow, you need the
Gosh.
green. So now you're not seeing results, you are not productive, you need to sit down. It's a time to pause, and that is when you need the color red. And in case you are, maybe you are moving on green, however, you are able to, let's say for example, you are able to like still navigate life, you might still need to pause. You can naturally take a pause, but don't stop because you're not on red. Even when you're on red, there are times you see no turn on red. What that means is once it shows red, you shouldn't turn. But once it is green, you can turn. So it's different, right? I'm just using this analogy of things that we have every day to narrate what am trying to drive I'm trying
Yeah.
to drive home, right? So what I'm trying to say is, by all means, try as much as possible to push yourself. Have a plan. Evaluate your time. Who are the people you are spending your time with? If you have a question, let me know. Who are the people you are spending time with? Are they helping you to be productive? Are they wasting your time? Are you also wasting your own personal time? Because you might be the one wasting your time. And time wasters are bound because they don't even know what they want to do with their life. So they don't know what they want to do with their time. So you also that don't know what to do with your life and with your time, they will buy into your time. And if you don't pay attention, that means they are buying into your life and taking away your life. I got a quote indirectly from one of my mentors. His name is Mr. Tony Ajam. He's a business coach and he organized an annual event in Nigeria. It is called Nigeria Innovation Summit NIS. He told me this thing and I'll never forget. He said, James, you can always lose money. You can always waste money, but don't ever waste your time. What that means is if you probably you did a business, it wasn't a good deal, and that happened. That is normal. But you're wasting your time and you keep deliberately wasting your time. That is not normal. That is abnormal. Why? Because you can't buy back the time. You can't
Time.
buy that life you have wasted. The only thing you can make do is to gather yourself, pick up yourself, and move on quickly, as quick as possible. So time in life is the only thing that both the poor and the rich, the old and the young, the feeble and the strong all have. So there is
Equality.
nothing you can do about that. When there are some exceptions, like the prophet said in the book of Ecclesiastes, that's the good book, and he talked about some sort of things that are abnormal. He said he returned and he saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift one. He said
Yeah.
battle is not to the strong two. He said neither is bread to the wise three. He said no riches to men of understanding four. He said no favors to men of skills five. But he said one thing,
Fine.
but time and chance happens to them all.
Net.
So in
Yes.
all of these things, what really matters is the time and the
Time.
chance. So if you don't have time,
The chance there.
I told you already, there is no chance. So if you have
Yeah.
time, look at the story of this young guy who is picking bottles and all, and I could see how the boy became so grateful, and that is to tell you sincerely that real people who are in need of help out there, not just going on the street picking up somebody and trying to help them. I don't say that is bad, but I think I will go more for institutionalized giving because you tend to give to people and you don't tend to see the changes. The same set of people come again and come again and come again. So I think what is important for you to do is to find a way to help somebody. And if you want to do that, fine. The scriptures, the Holy Bible, which we believe, says whatever your right hand is doing, your left hand should not see it. But the same Bible also tells us that the hand of the diligent will make a way. He said, he that is diligent will stand before kings and not female. I wouldn't be surprised if that young man gets the best help he can from the government and everybody that can support him. However, in our society, we need to avoid normalizing the abnormalities that is in our world because a young man like that of 19 years old should be in school. He should. I'm not saying because you probably have Western education, education is not necessary over there. The system that works there is different from the system that works here. So a child like that should go into school. I appreciate you want to work, but then how long would that guy, what would that guy become in the next, 1 decade? The same people who are giving him money here and there will say, what were you doing with your life? Why didn't you go to school? So what really matters in this life is time and chance happen. If that guy had not appeared at his usual bus stop at the place where he picks things, you wouldn't have probably become such a person overnight. A good example I also would say is this guy called Ashakan. So there was a student, I think in Yabate, he was tired of reading and he decided to go out to sit down. And where he was sitting, I was just thinking I understand how that feels. And where he was right there, somebody just passed through. That was a Kairos moment. That was a moment that if he had missed, somebody else would have actually taken it. So, sometimes the way you are directed is divine leading. So until that chance comes, but you yourself must be prepared. I keep saying this. It is better for you to be prepared and not have an opportunity than for you to have an opportunity and you are not
Not be
prepared.
prepared.
So it is very, very important. So over to you, coach. So if you are to give an advice to your younger self, what would that advice be?
Um, that's a powerful question. I think the first advice would be audacity. Audacity. And I remember some times ago, about 5, 6 years ago, thereabouts, I had an opportunity, but the audacity was not there, and I later got back the opportunity, but I got it more later time. So I think if I'm going to give myself an advice, my younger self, is audacity. You have to be audacious. You know, audacity is the ability to show up, is the strength, is the courage to show up, notwithstanding your limitations, notwithstanding your background. You know, you can be audacious without a certificate. You can be audacious without money in your pocket, and you can be timid with a master's degree. You can be timid with an account of 10 million naira sitting in your account. So audacity is not about what you should have. It should be a strength you build from your inside. And anybody that is going to attain great heights, anybody that is going to become in our world today, must be an audacious person. Must be an audacious. That's the first advice I'll give myself. I think the second one would be um, intentionality. Intentionality. Growing up, there are many things we just do because, yes, your parents want you to do it, your school wants you to do it. For example, I went to a secondary school where they taught French, and we were always just laughing at the teacher those days, and not knowing that this is a language that if I were to speak French now, I was a good French speaker now. I had some opportunities that I would have gotten. So if I'm going to advise my younger self now, is that whatever your hand finds doing, be intentional about it. If whatever be about it, be intentional about it. You never can tell what that thing would be of help in the nearest future. And there's something that is not cannot be taken away from you. That's knowledge. You can be given $10 million today, and then on your way back home, they call you and say, "Sorry, I've changed my mind. You don't deserve this," and then the check is being collected from you. However, knowledge given can never be taken away from you. So be intentional about whatever you find yourself doing and whatever you're doing part time.
Wow,
That's
that's
the second.
amazing. I caught those three insights: audacity, talked about intentionality, and then
Yeah,
that opportunity where you now also take it to knowledge. I was like, wow, see how this man took it. So in case you don't know, those are three things. Intentionality. Then it breaks it down to the point of you going for knowledge. I'm big on going for
yeah,
knowledge. Going for knowledge could be you taking 10 minutes of your time to go online to
yes,
read about something you are really interested in. If you really want to be known in an aspect, you should also be willing to be able to invest a little time in it. You want to become an author. Can you start by writing a page, a line, a
yeah,
paragraph, a sentence? I was like, somebody say if you write a page of a book every day, by the end of the year, you have 365 book pages.
yeah,
Like, that's true, but it's easy to do. No, it's easier said. So it takes you being intentional before you can have this result. So if you are not intentional, you can't have these results. These results are actually things that you can accomplish, but that discipline is what is important. So that takes me to my next question. Discipline, or these are two. I want to know if you
okay,
would go for one of it or you go for two. So because sometimes we tend to say, oh, discipline, we tend to say, you know, motivation. So for me, I am not choosing. I don't even know the answer. So discipline or motivation, what would you call? You have an open check just to pick one. Thank you.
I will, a million times I'll go for discipline.
Oh, great.
Yes.
But it's good to be motivated, inspired, you know, acquire to acquire your desire to
When,
perspire.
when you have discipline, you don't need motivation. When you know that you must eat the gym every morning and you are disciplined, you do not need any motivation to tell you that, even when you are tired. And I caught the definition of discipline when I was doing my NYFC in Kwara State, Epata, Ilorin, at the camp. I caught it from the military guys. Those guys are everly prepared and always disciplined. So you see that in the morning, I think they wake us around 3 a.m. or so to prepare for the marching parade and everything. And by the time they are blowing their trumpet and everything to wake us up, I began to understand that they don't care what you are doing at that time. They are not motivating you. They expect that you should be, prepared. You should be disciplined enough to wake up every time 4 a.m. So discipline above motivation every time. Because in discipline is where you find motivation. But you can be motivated and you still like discipline, and.
Mm, yeah, yeah, I can relate to that. Though for me, I'll go for motivation. You know why? If I go
Yeah.
for motivation, I'll say that's a very childish thing to go for because you won't always be motivated. So a blend of both would be
Yes.
nice. However, discipline is more important. So discipline
Yes.
could mean that you have results that you want to do. However, you feel like you know, let me try something else. You can easily get inspired, but motivation, I think, according to the studies that have been done and research that have been
Someone
conducted,
just dropped a very, very inspiring, very powerful thoughts now. Did you see
motivation
that?
will always, yes, exactly. This is what I wanted to talk about. Motivation will always die natural death within 24 hours.
Things are the inner
This
strength.
is inner strength that comes
Strong desire.
from
That's
desire.
right.
This man is Mr. Ken, in my opinion. We need to have you on this show. We need to have you on this show. So you see, discipline is from a strong desire. So let me give you a good example where I started this year. So I'm currently on a 100-day, 15 minutes exercise. Today would be my day, I think day 20 or yeah, day 20. So yesterday morning, I observed something. I was having pain at my back. And because of that pain, I'm like, will I be able to do this exercise today or not? I was just like, and once I missed that one day, before you know, you start giving excuses here and there. So I did it. I slept, and guess what? There's no more back pain. And see, even though it's not showing yet so well, but it's it's building up, it's building up, it's building up. So
Yeah.
what I'm telling you is sometimes even when you are disciplined, you might not see the results now. That does not mean
Yeah.
something is not working. Let me give you a good example. When you have disciplined yourself well enough, and people are like, oh, why don't you to change this? Why haven't you done that? It's because you are disciplined. Discipline is not
Yes.
just a way of achieving goals. Sometimes it might be okay, people feel like this is what you should be doing by now, but because you are disciplining yourself, you know what really matters more. You prioritize your career over physical stuffs and all of that. A good example I'll tell you is this. When I was in school, my friend is here. If my friend and I had decided we wanted to use our money to buy cars, we would have probably changed cars several times, twice or three times while we were in school. But that was not our vision. That was not what we're looking at. Because sometimes you need to do some things that people would not be able to predict. So the unpredictability and making your next 5 moves is what actually makes you a wonder. And what people feel like, how is this guy even going this way? Sometimes you need to do something that are unpredictable. You need to come up with something that is just novel and different that people do not expect. Like imagine you see me now start singing. That's something different. So if I realize I have a music talent in me, all I need to do is to find it to play and try it out. Even if it fails, just see it as a lesson. So you need to discipline yourself from the things you hear right here where I am. Most of the things I listen to are people that already have results that I'm looking forward to. I might not have the result they are commanding, but I'm looking forward to them. So the day that happens, I'll go back to my journal and see that truly I wrote down this thing somewhere. The day I speak on the stage with John C. Maxwell, with Dr. Sam Adeyemi, with my friends and colleagues that are in different parts of the world, it won't happen overnight, but to surely happen. But what really matters is in addition to you getting motivated, in addition to you being disciplined, you also need to guide your heart. You need to pursue your dream. Because these are things people won't tell you. I think it was someone that was like, oh, you people mention this, but you don't tell us about this. You won't be told until you enter it. Yes, you won't be told. Nobody will tell you to push it out. You think it's just to write a book and have it? No. If I tell you that when you have your book, you have not even started. Because the goal is not just for you to have a book that is a book. You also need to take the book to the right people. You need to take it to the right platform. Before
Yes.
I came live with my friend here, do you know that there is someone who we're already having conversation with on a podcast? And they're asking, am I willing to sponsor? And I'm thinking, what do I do? I'll have to reach out to my team. We'll talk about it and see if it's something we can actually gain value from based on tractions. So don't think because you have written a book, you have it on Amazon, anybody will get it and anybody will buy it. No, you need to push it. So this year, make it a decision. Blow your trumpet, like carry it to the top of the roof and
Very well.
shout. I've talked about this on my YouTube channel. By the way, guys, my friend just opened a YouTube channel, and you can check his bio. Please do well to follow him. I'm going to tag him after releasing this video. Do well to follow him massively. Do well to also check him out on YouTube as he's dropping the gems. His projects are coming up. Support him. Like, let us lift ourselves. Don't wait until maybe you have gotten to the peak and like, oh, I knew him, I knew him, I knew him there. It will be difficult to assess him there because then you'll be very busy and he's booked out all over the world and he probably will not have time to stay like this. That's the vision and the time we dream for. By the time he knows that you value him, you celebrate him when he was coming up, imagine he will definitely give you the time. A good example, I would say, and draw the curtain and hand over to you of a lady who mentioned that I think what do you want for Christmas? He said they wish Don Jazzy you know answers something something and it's not something
Yeah.
big and actually it's big. When somebody tell you don't do this, that's what we actually do. So and then
Mhm.
because the dream she had was clear to her, people might call her selfish and all of that. But she stated she's doing this because somebody died of this. And she wants to advocate for it and help other people not to die. That's the cause. She was passionate about that cause. So what cause are you passionate about? That you leave behind everything that has to do with you. And then guess what? She got what she needed. And just Don Jazzy, I think he donated a
Yeah.
sum of 10 million naira, right? And then other people
Yeah.
started contributing. So if you
Gained
don't
visibility.
kickstart, yes, if you don't kickstart, nobody cares about you. Just keep showing up. Showing up sometimes is that audacity. Some people don't even know where you're going to, but you're just showing up. And that's the currency you need. You might not
Yeah.
be getting traction. I know of my friend, one of my friends, who has been doing video over the years. Recently, one of our video almost going to 800K or a million now. Let's say almost a million. And it's what she has been doing all the time without getting high views and all of that. So just keep showing up, keep doing it. Don't stop. My advice, you can take a pause. Remember about the story of the traffic lights. You have stop, which is red, you have green, which is go, and you have yellow, which is get ready. So your time might be to pause. Take your red as a pause, not a stop. You might have been doing something before. Answer these three questions as you journey through the year 2026. What do I start doing? What do I stop doing? And what do I continue doing? So at this point, I will hand over to my honorable guest, and I hope you will be willing to come on other shows as well. We'd like to have you on. Hopefully, maybe in February, we can have like an extended long period of shows that can have a longer period. So, what would you like to give us for closing? And if anybody has a question, you can drop in the chat. I'll do well to check.
Well, for closing, I'll say that before I say that, let me say that thank you for the last thoughts you shared now. Thank you for the last thoughts you just shared. And for closing, let me say this two things. Number one, go for knowledge. Go for knowledge. Knowledge, we should be more hungry for knowledge than hungry for performance. Knowledge. When you are building, for example, the houses they build in on the island, Lagos Island, Lekki, and all those areas, you see that the foundation, they can take time on the foundation, even more than they take time on the building itself. So if we are going to go far, if we are going to really not just go across Nigeria, the 36 states of Africa, we are going to go around the world, we are going to be a blessing to nations of the world, then we should go for knowledge. Let's go for knowledge. Let's build that foundation, solid knowledge, so that when the opportunity comes, we are fully prepared. We are fully prepared. So there are a lot of certifications we can take, to improve ourselves. Whatever you're doing, just be the best at it. There's this thing. Okay, let me end like this. There's this part of the scripture. I think it was in Daniel when the king was requesting for men, and one of the things they said was that get me the best of the best, this most skillful one. So by the time we appear in these nations, by the time we appear in the front of the palace or in the front of the king, let it not be that we do not have the required knowledge to keep us there. So let us go for knowledge, and I'm believing that it would always pay off in the long run. And thank you very much, dear leader James Kukola, for this opportunity to be here. I celebrate you so much, and I honor all that you're doing. Thank you, sir.
Wow. Wow, I love what you mentioned. A solid knowledge, go for knowledge, be hungry, build the foundation. Yeah. So you need to really build the foundation. So what I will add to that is beyond the general knowledge. Everybody now we are in the knowledge economy, everybody already knows something. So what makes you stand out? And there's this word that can be attributed to I think Alex Omozi, which says there are riches in niches. So you might need to sit down and niche down. For me, I'm a personal development coach, national nation building, leader, and also on the other side, I want to be known as a publishing guru, as somebody who bets books from people. So how can you focus? My focus area are entrepreneurs, leaders, speakers, coaches, influencers, and all of that. These people have already attained the level and height, and so they have an audience, but they don't know what they want to give to their audience. Beyond serving their audience, they can also get to leave a legacy for others, right? So we've
Yes.
come to the end of this session. Thank you guys for joining. So in February, we might have an extended daily live shows, and do well to check and do well to put your eyes on these posts. I'll do well to post it. I'll do well to engage. Do well to also share with as many friends. Promise me you share with at least 2 or 5 friends. Share with them if it bless their heart. I'll also see how best can also upload this on our YouTube channel and make it like a partnership. And I also make this a collaboration as well.
Okay.
So I'm open to more collaboration. I want to say a big thank you to you. And once again, I would like to tell you about the private conversation with Mr. Ashiri Comedy is happening this Saturday, 1st of February 2026.
Is it this
And
Saturday? I don't think it's this Saturday. I think 1st of February.
oh, 1st of
This
February,
Saturday is
1st.
30th. Yes.
Oh, it's oh, this Saturday is 30th. Okay.
It's 30th. Yes.
It's on 1st of February is when?
I don't think it's this Saturday.
Okay, so 1st of February, it's
1st of
on.
February, yes.
It should be on. That should be on Monday. Sunday
It's
is
on a
what?
Saturday. Is it Sunday?
Hmm?
Oh, just let me. Today's date is
Today is 28th.
28. Oh, I think it's a Saturday.
Yeah, right. I'm like, yeah. So Saturday, 1st of February. So it's on Sunday. Someone says it's on Sunday.
Sunday, okay. That's the first. Okay. Sunday, okay.
Okay. So guys, it will be an amazing opportunity for you. Please do well to be there and go on YouTube. YouTube is a university. You don't need to pay tuition. All you need is your data. You can even do subscription during the day at night. You have free subscription. You can probably,
Yeah.
if you sleep by 9, you can probably go to bed earlier by 8 and you wake up by 1 or 2 and use night subscription. All of these, find a way and develop yourself and start thinking, how can I get out of this box I am in? Unbox yourself by taking action. Thank you guys. We've had an amazing experience today and I'm super happy. I want to say thank you, Medase, Pa, Eshe, Obrigado. Thank you so much. Why are
Well,
you surprised? I'm
all
a
right.
Nigerian Ghanaian as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
Medase.
Okay.
Is it Medase or
Yeah.
Medase?
Yeah, Medasi, and then I'll say you. So that's
What
you're
of
welcome.
so the pa at the back of Medase? What does it mean? Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you guys. All right. Bye everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.